40 degrees, baby, 40 degrees. It is cold. I got down to about 39 or 38 last night, and we are still in the lows. So we're not too far off the lows. I forget if it was 38 or 39, but either way, this morning we're right down there. So hopefully it's gonna get a little warmer. We got some work to do today. Okay. It's cold. Like my hat? My wife hates it, but this thing's great. I saw it on an ad online. It's made by Still. You can only get it out of their Canadian stores, so I got it online. She says I look ridiculous, which is probably true, but it's a great hat. It's a fantastic hat. I'm looking forward to having it all winter long, and it's really why I got it. And it's cold and it's nice, you know. So here we are. You guys will probably recognize this place from last year. We finished out the year here at this this little village resort thing with a pretty nice four-figure into the season last year. So I thought that I was going to be shutting down. I thought that I was going to be done, and we're not. We got invited back here, repeat customer, and we're going to do a little bit more work for him. I think last year, we did almost all of this row, excluding maybe a couple. Where I'm parked over here, I did that last year. They said it looked incredible. They want it done again. So last year we moved a lot of moss. This year it just needs to be blown off, and I think we're gonna do some treatment. I believe we're doing 36. I gotta look at my sheet, but I think we're doing 36. Whatever this one is back here and that one. I think we did 19 last year on the roof. I think we did all these too. It was a pretty big job last year. I think we did 20. I mean, they all look fantastic, so I must have done them. But didn't do anything over there. Let's see, this big building in front of us, this is the lodge. We are going to be putting a little Kim on this today, just trying to get rid of some of these black streaks. I think we did some of these last year. Earlier this year, so I came back and I sprayed the moss last year. There's a lot on some of them. I came back and I brushed off the dead moss while I was here. Immediately hired. We cleaned all the, there's metal roof, had a lot of like black mold on it. SH the whole metal roof, front and back. I mean, look at it. Look what they're under. It already looks a little dirty in some spots again. So that's why if you're in the Northeast or an area like this, you're gonna have repeat customers. So we're gonna be doing this building. One of these over here, there's like a side roof when we came in, that's gonna get cleaned. The ones back there that I showed you, and then this building, and I think that's it. It's a relatively smaller job. I'm going to be most likely out of here today. Probably not even going to be a full day. There's not a whole lot of moss removal, if any. I can't really remember. It looks like it's mainly just get rid of some of this coloration. I have a video I did. Well, I did the front of this last year. I did the front of this year when I did that green roof. That I did last year. That was a pretty cool video. I just did just the front side of that. So basically the point is number one, showing you what I'm doing today, and the second point is building relationships. You know, I thought I was gonna be done. I didn't ask this guy, hey, you got any work left for me? I didn't market to him this year, so he actually got a flyer. He got a flyer in the beginning of last year. He held on to it until fall, and that was when our relationship started with a couple of these things. And like I said in a couple of previous videos, you want to become the guy. I am the guy here now. So I thought, like I said, I thought I was done. I had a couple of videos. I was dwindling down my tank. I think I got to 10 gallons, maybe a little bit below, and I figure, you know, I'm gonna step into gutter cleaning. It's cold. Not a great time of year to be, you know, getting wet and stuff like that. It's supposed to warm up. Should be okay today. But you want to become the guy, and you want to be coming in here and being called for everything they need. I pitched him a couple siding washes, and he goes, nope, that's a spring job, we'll do that after the fall. So, you know, you get a few places like this, a couple apartment complexes, a couple management groups, and they will keep you busy. A lot of guys are constantly asking, how do I get jobs? How do I get jobs? Why are you always busy? Because I'm out there. It's literally, it's as simple as that. You get out there, you do a good job. The longer that you are in business, the easier it will get. You cannot start a business and throw $500 out in marketing and think that you're going to make $100,000 in your first year. It's a slow build, you know. A lot of it has to do with your marketing. A lot of guys don't want to spend a whole lot of money on marketing, and then they wonder why they're not getting their names out here. I spent a few $1,000s on marketing my first year. One flyer landed here, and this guy has paid me back for all that generously. So not too bad. Okay, let's look at the SH again. It's kind of hard to see, I think. It's hard for me to see. Let me see. Turn my sunglasses off. Give the truck a little shake here. Okay, you should be able to see it rocking right here by this line. That's 30. I had it down to about, well, it must have been right around 15 gallons, because I went to the pool store. Wasn't gonna go get another not gonna go get another 55-gallon barrel. I have to because of the whole, you know, COVID thing and everything. Our supplier, they just don't have drivers to get it up here. They can get it here, but it's like never when I want it to. It's always like 3 or 4 weeks late. So for the last few weeks into the season, I've been going down with a trailer, picking up a load of chlorine, the barrels, and then bringing them home. It is an inconvenience, but it's the cheapest chlorine you'll ever get, because I don't have a delivery fee or anything like that. I'm getting it bulk from the supplier. So I think last time I was getting under $200 for 55 gallons. So in my area, that's pretty darn good. Basically, you go and do one nice roof job and it pays for a whole pallet. It's an inconvenience to go and get it. I usually not happy when I have to go trailer up and drive 40 minutes to get it, but wasn't going to do that for this. So I went to the pool store, got 5 5-gallon yellow jugs, and I only put 15 gallons in. I didn't feel like putting it all in, because again, I'm really not trying to take too much right now. It's hard to say no to existing clients, but all my marketing's off. I'm not marketing anything. Reached out to some old clients for gutter cleaning, and that has strummed up a couple of house washes. You know, someone said, you know, come do my gutters, and then I want a house wash. Last year, I scheduled a lot of stuff in the fall for spring, because I was just kind of trying to get ready for snow season, but we're still a little early here. So I got a little extra chlorine sitting in the house. So we're going to be flowing 6% all day. Right? So we'll see where we are at the end of the day. I'm using 15.5% bleach, so it's actually a little higher. The stuff I put in there is 12, so there's probably 15%. There's probably 15 gallons of 15%, and now there's 15 gallons of 12%. So I'm probably gonna be running a little soap here, not wide open. All right, we're gonna blow off this roof real quick. We'll get up here, we'll spray, we'll move right along. This will be a nice quick one. For those of you who are wondering, no, I have not changed my pump yet. Still working with the dying 12 volt. We're not shooting today. We're just fan spray. Wait till you see this fan spray. Hold on, stand by. Not bad, right? Not bad for the condition of the pump, so it'll be okay for the roofs as long as it makes it through the day. But when the pumps are brand new, you get like an extra like 8 inches on your fan. It seems like it's a lot wider, a lot more flow. So let's get down here. This roof's a little too steep for me to kind of carry the camera around. All right, we're done with this one. We got a long walk to the next one. Oh, we're here already. Okay, good. We're gonna do this one real quick. Not too bad. This one's got just some black streaking. There's no moss. Let's see about this little front roof here. I honestly can't tell from the ground if that's dirty or not, so we'll know when we get up there. Let's see here. So we got some moss there, so we're gonna go up with a brush, a little black streaking. Then we got to do 60, which looks like black streaking. I don't know what's on the back side. Then 61, which looks really, really good from right here. So might be something on the back side. When I come and quote, I look at the size of the building. I don't really care what's up top because I know what my bleach costs. I know that it doesn't take more than a few minutes to brush off that stuff. A little bit of moss up there. And the margins are so high, right? You just look at the building. I try to think, well, how long is it going to take me? And then I throw a price at it. Pricing does not have to be complicated, right? I don't drive all over town. I drove to this one because it's right down the road from me, but I don't get up on a ladder for the quote. I just look and say, this is the building, that's how big it is, and I'll give them a price. That's how I do everything. All my residential is either on Google Maps, usually Google Street View, and then I'll do a satellite view, and then I give a price. I do not drive. I have not driven to a residential for a quote. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you when I went to a residential for a quote. You're wasting way too much time, way too much money. If you're driving around quoting projects, you're not busy enough. So you need to be spending more money, more time on your marketing. We're in the age of technology, like Google Maps. If Google Maps isn't giving what you want, go to a realtor website, go to Zillow, look at the back deck. Almost every house is on Zillow at one point or another, and you can find what the deck looks like, what the backyard looks like, what the house looks like, all kinds of stuff. You don't need to be going walking around wasting your time. Give a quote, they accept it, go pick up the house, do the job. You know, you drive around and say you drive 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it might be. Some of the places I go 45 minutes away, have a nice conversation with a homeowner, and then they pick someone else or they push it off till next year. It's just an absolute waste of your time. So you can drag our hose to over here, a ladder to over here, and then we're good to go. Well, don't that just look pretty over there? All that black streaking came off. It wasn't a whole lot. Like I said, that one was done last year. But the man, the pine needles and stuff, all these trees absolutely wreak havoc on this these roofs. I'm not upset about it. I'll happily come back every year. This kind of moss I like. All right, this roof is this roof has some pretty nice black streaking to it, right? So we're gonna coat it and then take a little break, and then before we pack up our hose and before we move on from this area, I'm gonna climb up here and probably respray it again. Worst thing you can do is pack up all your stuff and rush out because you think you did a bang up job. Sprayed all that chem on there, and then you didn't realize that algae grows in layers, and you might be removing some but not all. So let's get up there, we'll spray this. Get a respirator now. never need to be in a hurry. You know what I mean? If you're rushing off these jobs, you know, it can only hurt you in the end, you know. I know we all got stuff to do, we got our free time and our personal lives. When you're running a business, you want to do good quality work, make sure you stick around, don't rush out. There's nothing worse than being called back because there's still streaks on the roof. It just doesn't look good for you. It doesn't look good for the rest of us. You know, the day and age that we live in, one person screws up, everyone looks bad, right? So stick around, do a good job, and you'll be around. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful day. You can see the lake peeking through the trees over there. Okay, let's see if we can get zapped here. The edges are usually the most missed. You're scared of that overspray. Gotta get those edges. Look at these colors. Absolutely beautiful. You know, I'm not thrilled about spraying these wires, but I don't know what. Can't crawl under them. I don't believe it'll be an issue. These ones are all coated, and I know that won't be a problem. The only thing that's actually really an issue is just the tension cable, now that I'm looking at it. And it appears to be stainless steel, and it appears to be not anything that's going to adversely react with the bleach here. I'm not concerned about it. Nice and dark here. Look at all the bubbles. Okay. Get down there, boy. Come on. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now I'm at the point in the morning where I don't know what I want. I was cold, and it is still cold out, but I'm working, so I got hot, and I took some layers off, and I'm sweating. Now my sweating's getting cold, or my sweat's getting cold. It's a wonderful morning out, but hot, cold, hot, cold. All right, let's see here. Can't really see this. I don't even know if they know it's dirty. I couldn't see it from the ground. I could not see that it was black. Get a little spray. Okay, pass through the edge a little bit better there. I know it's going to run. That corner. Okay. Nice and thick. I know you guys, some guys repeatedly ask me what kind of soap I use. Roof Snot. The only soap I've ever bought. It's the only one I continue to buy. I don't buy into the whole scent cover up. I don't get any of this anything that covers up the bleach. I've never had a customer care about the bleach smell. Some people like it. They like that whole clean thing, especially with COVID. Everyone likes the smell of bleach around, whatever. A lot of that, you know, people got to make money, right? But a lot of those products out there, they're just gimmies. They're just gimmicks. You don't need to cover up the bleach. If someone's really complaining about the bleach, go find another customer. I've never had one single one. I advertise the fact that I use bleach. A lot of people now are catching on. There's a lot more soft wash stuff going on in these areas. It's a lot more marketing, a lot more just public education. I have people that message me and say, hey, are you a pressure washer or do you use bleach? And I say I use bleach, and they say, perfect, when can you come? You know, I think in the very beginning, people were freaking out. I say the very beginning for me, right? I've only been doing this a year and a half or so. In the very beginning for me, I never had issues with the bleach at all in any of the washes. But online, with some of my marketing stuff on Facebook, I would get comments from people that would say, oh, you shouldn't use bleach, you're going to bleach the house. And then it's just like, all right, well, you're not thinking about that fully through, unless, I don't know, I mean, is your house made of cotton? Because then I believe you, sure, maybe it will bleach the house, but bleach doesn't just react with everything, right? But, anywho, I just use a non-scented soap. It's called Roof Snot. I don't buy into any of that stuff. They're just, like I've said in a couple other videos, these companies know that you guys are getting into these businesses, that you're worried about that kind of stuff, and they sell these products. It's something that you can have if you want it. It is not anything that you need. Again, this all comes back to how you want to run your business. I like to run mine as lean as possible. Scented soap, regular roof snot is going to be cheaper than any of that other stuff. And I've seen a lot of other guys use soap on their videos and stuff like that, and roof snot seems to be the most consistently sticky, and it all gets pre-diluted in the tank, and then it mixes with the proportioner. Look at all that mold on here. We'll be back here in the spring. There's mold on that building. We'll be back in the spring, I'm sure, to do some washes. I like to run it as lean as possible, so I don't absolutely need it. I'm not going to pay the extra $5, $6, $7 for a scented solution. It's junk. All right. So I didn't have this all the way full when we started, but this is how I pre-dilute my soap. This is roof snot in here. I like it really soapy. And I just pour that in there. Simple as that. Fill that up. Let that pre-dilute, and it'll just pull through the proportioner. See how we're looking up here. It's hard to tell because it's wet. I have to get up on the roof in a minute to see if it's how we're looking, but it looks good. We'll let that sit for a minute, have a little drink, fill up our soap tank, and we'll check that out, and we'll move on. So we got 2 done already. They're small, they're quick, good, nice way to make money. We haven't been here that long. All right, cabin 60, little leaf blow, some black streaking up there, sun right at my face. Really nice property here. This is the best time of year to be up here in this area. Best time of year. See what's going on back here. Looks like a leaf blow off. It's hard to tell because there's some shadow, but I don't even see any black up there on this side, so we might just be doing a blow off there. Let's see what's going on back here, because the front of this one looks fine. It doesn't look like it needs anything. I'm not sure what we got going on back here. Whoa! I saw the gully. I didn't see the water. I almost went right in that. I was looking up at the roof. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Nothing. A little moss under the skylights. I guess we can get that. They wanted this one done. I don't know why. Well, that'll be the easiest money of the day then. Get up there and move a little moss. I just don't see. There's nothing up. Maybe a little discoloration. Is that what they're seeing? This is like their access road, goes to their shops and equipment and stuff. Okay, yeah, there's a little, okay. A little bit of staining there. You can kind of see it. That was the first time I've seen really anything wrong with the roof. I have a feeling they didn't call me because of the moss by the skylight. Man, it's bright. But this one, like, see how you can really see the discoloration on the fronts of these, on this one here. But on that, like the front facing portion, the back facing portion of this roof are fine. So good to go. Let's get a ladder up. As usual, tie off those back legs. We get up here, we won't have a problem. I've already been up here. I did the leaf blowing here. Let's take a look before we get up here and spray. Nice and black. This roof, we were back there earlier, and I said, wow, just needs a little blow off. Under all that pine needle, look at all that black right down there. So we're not going to spray this whole roof, just be a waste of SH. We'll spray down through here, get that cleaned up. We'll do the front of this. Look at that, with the light on here now, like this roof is perfect except for the other side of that. Maybe a couple touch-up things in the back. Look at that one over there. We're not doing 39. I know a lot of you guys can't stand that I don't use ladder standoffs. I don't like them. Look at that, look how careful, slow. You don't want to shift your body weight when you're getting on these things. You just want to go slow and get on there. One of the best things that you can do when you get on a ladder is to lean back, right? Might make you think, well, that doesn't sound right. Or might make you think, that's got to feel uncomfortable. When you get used to it, it does. When you lean forward, getting onto a ladder, if you're nervous and you're trying to put your weight and try to be really careful, that gutter becomes a fulcrum. And that's what a lot of times will kick those feet out. When you lean back on these ladders, you plant that weight down to those feet. Then we got it tied off. Really not that bad. Ladders do not just fall over on their own. They don't. They're designed to do that, to be evenly placed, to be on a nice flat grippy surface. People don't design ladders for them to fall over. What happens is we get in a rush, we get distracted, we shift our weight. If you're careful, one rung at a time, you'll never have an issue on a ladder. Just one man's opinion. You know what they say, everyone's got one. That one's mine. Nine minutes up there, not bad. Moving right along. This one, it's going to take longer to get up and down that ladder than it is to spray that roof. All right, so we just finished here. I just got up here on this roof. I just wanted to confirm that you know, there really isn't much to do up here. I got the ladder here tied off to the railing. We're just going to spray this section up here. I already got up there and I kicked off that moss by the skylight. I'm not just going to spray it to spray it. We're just going to do this section. That's the one that that's the one that I'm assuming that they want it, because everything else is clean. So we're going to do that. We're still on the buffer tank. We haven't filled up yet. We're right about down here, so we'll probably do this, and then we got to go over to some of the main buildings. So I'm sure we can find a spigot over there. We've used about 9 gallons maybe so far. Right at the 20 mark. We were right at the 30 mark. I believe you have to be right in the middle there. That's why I'm saying 9 gallons and not 10, because I don't think we're quite in the middle of that. So 10 gallons so far on this roof, and those two over there. I think we could have skated with maybe 6 or 7 gallons. I think we used an extra gallon or 2 over there when we first started, because this line was cleaned out. I rinsed it for the first time ever just a week or so ago. So I had to flush all the water out. And then, as you know, as I've said, this pump is just not really doing well, and it seemed for a while like it just wasn't pulling the chem, but clearly it is. Clearly it is, but I think I burned through a little extra chlorine over there. So we're doing good though. We're doing good. I didn't want to pull in. I didn't want to put in all of the. I didn't want to put in all the SH that I got from the pool store yesterday. We also, last year after we worked here, went to this guy's residence, did him and his wife's residence, went back in early spring and did their deck, and now they want me to go and do their daughter's house after this. I don't think I'm going to do it today. It's really nice. I expect to be out of here before 11 o'clock. You know, I easily could go and work the whole day, but we're getting into cold weather. I think it's supposed to be 60 or something today. So I think I'm going to take my dogs out in the woods. We can save that other project for another day. I'm going to have to get it all done today. All right, I'm going to get up here and spray this. Man ago I couldn't get that edge. We had just enough breeze. I was keeping my fan spray off of it. Whew. Now I know this pump ain't doing well, but God am I impressed by it. You guys saw that last video, that really dirty house. I could barely hit the peaks. I had to take the ladder out to get a couple peaks, a couple sections. It ain't no spring chicken, but man, is it working. Okay. All right, we just left that cabin in the back. Want to swing by this one, take a peek. Looks nice. Looks nice. We've got one small little roof over there, and then this one's kind of a job right here. We'll go do this one first. All right, so it looks like this roof is going to be mainly walkable. We'll put a ladder up on one side, and looks like we can get to almost all of it, which is just, I love that. I love that. The way that we quoted this one, as you can see that, so we're not going to spray everything just to spray it. You got a little bit of black streaking over here. The front of this one here can get a little touch up. Might hit that chimney a little bit. This right here though was the issue. Right, nice and dark around this one, around these pine trees here. This side's not so bad. You can't see this. Let me get over here, but there is a little bit of streaking under these pines. Or I should say blotchiness right here, up in here. Gorgeous day, gorgeous day. And then I'm not too sure myself what this side looks like. By the chimney, a little black. By the edges, a little black. All in all, not bad. Some of you might say, well, in other videos you say you shouldn't do partial roof jobs. Gonna do partial house washes. Let's get that moss. Do that siding too for him. I completely agree. I don't like doing partial stuff. But I think I talked about it in another video where I was washing that really nice house. That's really nice and black up there too. We're gonna get that. Probably this little edge here that looks like cedar shake. That's not shingle. It's a really nice house, and I said, you know, you don't want to clean partial stuff because everything really needs a clean. But when you deal with people that have this much stuff, they don't want to be quoted for everything. You know, these guys have all of this because they're great with their money. And you go to a residence and you're talking about, you know, a $600 roof wash, something like that. The homeowner wants the roof done. They want it even. They want it to look clean. These guys, they don't want to pay for stuff that they don't need. And I'm not going to be the guy that sells someone something that they don't need. So we're going to do some partial stuff here and just make it look better. You know, just what I said earlier when I was quoting these buildings, I quoted the mold. They said, yeah, we'll do that, but not right now, you know, maybe in the spring. So you want to know your customer, and you want to just kind of know what they're looking for. You know, you don't want to come and quote a bunch of stuff without having come, you know, hey, what are you looking for here? What do you want? You want to know what they want before you start quoting, because you don't want to put your foot in your mouth and get yourself into a conversation that you can't wiggle yourself out of. You know, you could come here and quote $1,200, $1,500 for this roof, but I didn't do that. I actually quoted this roof a little lower than I normally would, but this guy's given me a tremendous amount of business without me even asking, and I know that there's more, right? So if this was a house at a residence, we'd be doing a lot more. We'd be doing the whole thing. We'd be quoting it a lot higher, but a lot of those is you go and do that, maybe you get an upsell, maybe you come back year after year and do a couple things for a couple $100. When you go to places like these, you want to be a little bit more selective, a little bit more on your game with your quoting, because these are relationships, not transactions. I want to come back here. You come in here and charge this guy $10,000 a sweep or something like that, he'll call someone else. So let's get going here. That roof looks awesome. I did that. Oh man, I just can't even remember. We've only been doing this for a year and a half, but we've done so much. I can't remember if this was last year or early this year. I'll have to go and look and see when I publish the video. But that looks really good. I think it was this year. You know, and like I said, this guy's giving me work. You got to be grateful, and you got to be responsible with your bidding. Want to be responsible when you're bidding, because you want to come back. You guys will keep you. Guys like this, places like this, those 2 apartment complexes that I did. I should say the 3 apartment complexes that I did. 2 were for the same property group. Those people will keep you in business. They will keep you in business. Quote accordingly, because if they're not keeping you in business, they're going to keep someone else in business. All right, so you can see now we're up here. A little bit of blacking on the edge. Come up here, we'll blow some of this out of the crack. Not much to leaf blow around. Got a little bit of moss there by hand because I got to about here and my brush went bye-bye. So not too bad. We'll blow some of that stuff. Get just a little bit of this out of here. Most of this moss is pretty crumbly. Okay, blow this out. Ah, there's my brush. We got all this brushed. I think over here it's just debris. I don't see any moss. This side's pretty good, but it'll get a little spray down in here. This side's all good except for by the chimney. And then we're pretty dark here, so let's go fire up the leaf blower and get this cleaned off. Next time the camera pops up, we'll be up here spraying this out. All right, let's go. Whoa. Oh. Get that. Didn't see that. Okay. All right, we're over here on the far side. We'll start here. Make our way down to the truck. aspirator on here actually. A little breeze. Up here is pretty clean, so we're just going to mist it. Doesn't need a soak. Oh, is that real thick spot down here? Get that nice and coated. Nice and soapy. Okay, get back up here a little bit. Now we'll just give it a light mist. This stuff doesn't really need it. Woo! That was a little windy shot right there, right into the face. Nice little coat. Okay. Now Lindsay, that. Yep. So this is not my new GoPro. I'm gonna try to be nice to that one. This one is taking a beating. None of the screens work. I can't see. I can't see what I'm recording, but it still records like a champ. These GoPros are great. Crazy. All right. Just a thin coat here. It's a little dark down here, so we'll give it a little thick here on the edge. Thick coat here, and then it's pretty light through here. Okay. Lens clean. Pretty dark right here. All right. Shifting a little bit on this roof. All right, so all through here is pretty good, right? Pretty clean. Really just kind of dark around the edge. So that's where you want a lot of our SH, and then we're just going to mist this. It'll help keep it even without washing more than we really have to, without spraying more bleach than we really have to. And even that little extra bit of mist up here is going to run down to these thick spots, and then again, pretty light up through here. Pretty dark on these edges here. All right, this entire section here is pretty dark, so this is going to get a good drink from top to bottom. I want to get down here and see if we can finish up that corner there. We'll see if we can let this breeze die. I think that was it right there. There's the breeze gone. Nope, just came back. All right, there you go. Nice drink on this side. Back up a little bit. Woo-hoo. Okay. As I was saying earlier, all this bleach that's in my tank was like $100-something after the deposit. I'm gonna get some of that back, right? Get the deposit back when you return the jug. It's nice and dark through here. So jobs like these, well, most jobs, but this one in particular, is like a 2,000 to 3,000% return. You know, you pay a little bit of money for your bleach. Sometimes, you know, at the end of the day, you're running a business. It is a business expense. But you can also look at it as it's a business investment. So I can go through here. So this whole section right here doesn't need to be done. All right, we're just gonna mist it. It's gonna get a little wet. Nothing down there is actually, I don't think anything down there is getting cleaned. Let's just see about just a little mist. Keep everything looking fresh and even, but we're not going to be blasting too much on here. Even though there's not really big thick streaks on here, there probably is a light layer of mold. Uh-oh, you stuck in here? Alright, let's double check. What's down in here? Nothing. We're good through here. We're good up here. Well, that moss turning white already. Woo! Looking good. Got the lake through there. Sun's coming up, hitting these trees. I wonder what time it is. Let's see. Got here about 8:30. It's It's just about 11 o'clock right now. This back section looks good, except for over here, so we got to spray that. That's pretty junky right there, so we'll might as well miss this, right? Woo! That's always scary when you hear the roof crack underneath you. I don't know if the camera heard that, but that was like a pop. Man, last year I was doing a roof for a lady, roof wash, moss removal, stuff like that. And there were sections where I actually thought that I was going through, and I told her, I was like, listen, what I've done so far, I'm going to charge you for. I'm getting off your roof. I'm not getting back on it. It was really bad. It's uncommon. Been on a lot of roofs in the last year and a half. I haven't had too many issues. But boy, that was scary. Thought I might be giving her the invoice in her upstairs bedroom or something. Like that old Chevy Chase movie, Christmas Vacation, where he's in the attic and falls through the ceiling into the bunk bed. Alright. We're gonna spray this section of mold here. We're not doing this whole house, even though you can see there's mold everywhere. We're just going to do this section by the window, because I can't stand to leave it like that. And then we'll let this dwell. And we got their line out right there hooked to my line. We'll get some water up here and rinse that siding in this window when we're done. Real thick here. And then mist here, a little thick through here. This is pretty dark here. We'll hit that piece of siding there too as well. When that first little breeze came through when we were up over on that section, put a little bit of that mist on my face. I could feel it starting to burn. You got that hot chem coming through here. So why the respirator's nice when you're doing the roof washes. I know I can be a little selective with my respirator use when I'm on the ground, but up here you really, those breezes will come through without warning, and if you're taking a breath, man, you don't want that in your lungs. Especially on a hot day. You get up on some of these roofs and they're, I mean, I don't know, but they're definitely, if it's 98 degrees out, I bet that these roofs are a couple hundred. I put my rear end down on a couple of these roofs before and jumped right up. They get hot. When that chem hits it, it really starts to vapor and steam up and all that. I moved, my ladder was over here. I got up on the roof and then I moved it. I shimmied it along the gutter here, so when I was pulling to that far side, I didn't knock my ladder over. Yes, I have done that before. Gotta make sure you get under your hose. A less lazy person would just move the hose, but if you don't try to force the spray under it, or like I said, a better person would just move the hose, you'll get down and you'll pull your hose off the roof, and then you'll realize that there's a hose mark up there from where the SH went around the hose. Some of this excess off of here. Come on. Come on. See right there, this roof is a little warmer here. It's been sitting in the sun. That's what I was talking about. You can see it dancing. You can see the fumes coming off because this part of the roof is warm. It's not in the shade. Now imagine that was a couple hundred degrees and you really start to see. I normally don't cool down the roof in the summer. I think I've only done it once or twice. You take a hose up there and pre-wet it, cool down the shingles. It does help a little bit, but nice. See, look at that. Wow. Wear your respirator. On these roof ones, you really gotta have it. All right, we got this section here. Can't wait to go see how much SH we got left. We got one small section over there. And like I said, they want me to go do a residence for their family, but I think we're going to do that another day because we don't have too many days like this left here in Lake George. Woke up this morning, it was 40 degrees. It's probably about 60 now. It's real nice. But I can do some more work tomorrow morning when it's 40 degrees in the morning, and no need to waste this weather right now doing it. All right, let's get off this roof. Okay, all we have to do left is this right here, and probably this. I can't see it from the ground really. How to look? You're not gonna come. Let's sit here on this rock. Oh, that hurt. Yeah, it'll get a spray, right? Not bad. All right, let's get up here. We'll spray this. We'll take off. All right, I had to start without you. The wind was blowing too much, and this pump is struggling to reach that far that I had to start like this. I had to start and stop to hit that corner every time the breeze blew, and it's just gonna be a lot of unreasonable unnecessary footage editing. So I just turned off the camera and I just got it as I could. But this is about where we are. I still got a couple of house washes to do. I don't know, we're gonna see, man. If I had to change out that pump before the end of the season, like, it is what it is. It's really okay for the fan spray, but in the house washing, I got one or two more. I got this guy's other residence here. Someone wanted a gutter clean with a house wash, and it's flowing. It's not, I'm not getting that 40-50 feet like I used to. I'm getting like maybe 20 depending. Let's see here. It's still working. Like, that's why I'm not changing it, you know what I mean? Like, I can still get it done. It's just harder. It's just not as easy as it used to be. Didn't have to get on the ladder for any house washes. We're gonna have to rinse these windows. Didn't have to get on a ladder for any house washes, and it's still cooking. It's still working. It's just making things harder. But again, you know, I'm not gonna, I just don't feel like changing out a perfectly, or I don't feel like swapping in a perfectly good pump for something that's still working. It's not working great, but it is still working. I am going to soon have I'm going to do a review on this. It's not going to be much of a review. I mean, I'm not going to do like a gallon per minute test. Nothing like that, but I think I have a few things to say about how well and how long this 12-volt pump has lasted. Now, I have nothing good to say about Everflow pumps. I was talking to my buddy Chris the other day, and he said that his Everflow pump He put one on in the beginning of the season, and it is still cooking. Other guys have said things about Everflow pumps. I've tried North Star pumps. I have nothing good to say about North Star pumps. Other people say that North Star pumps have done them really well. I rinse my pumps like crazy. After every single job, I run water through them. It was the same for when I had the Everflow. It was the same when I had the North Star, and they just didn't last. I went through a boatload of Everflows in the beginning of the season. And when I say in the beginning of the season, this pump went on April 15th, April 18th, I think it was, or I'm sorry, May 18th, I think that pump went on. And I started the season like April 5th, I think. So I went through like a handful of pumps right in the beginning, like the first few weeks, and that's with rinsing and everything else. So I don't know, like, they just didn't work out. But we're just about done here. The boss man's pulling up. He might want to have a word, so we'll talk about some SH in a minute when I'm done, but this is all I got to do. All right, well, we might be changing out our pump. It's still working, but like I said earlier, the more you're in business, the more relationships you make, the easier it gets. I kid you not. And the proof is in the pudding. There will be a video about it. Guy just pulls up, says, "How you doing?" Wants me to go clean the north side of a 100-foot long and 3-story high building. So I haven't seen it yet. I told him I'd do it. This pump can't even hit the 2-story, so we'll see. Although he says he's got a man lift. Says that if I want to use the man lift, I can either go and grab it at the tow behind for the trailer, or he would bring it down for me. But I told him I'll just go and check out the building before we get to that conclusion. So who knows? But we're done here. We're done here on this building. We're gonna go see what our SH looks like. I'm gonna swing over and do a little work at one of his family members' residences tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, because I want to be done for the day now. And and then maybe tomorrow we'll go down, bring you guys along. We'll check out that building. He said he had a fire in it. Had some a lady in there, a tenant, most likely fell asleep with a stogie in her mouth and had a little fire. He said it was mainly water and smoke damage, not so much fire, luckily. But he said he was down there. He hasn't visited that property in a while. He said they're going to be doing some work to it, so we might as well get it cleaned up. So, all right, we're done. Let's take a look at this while we got the camera rolling. There's 20. Gotta get this out of the way, I guess. Okay, there's your 20 mark. That's 10. We're slightly below it, right? So let's just call it 10 for right now. We were at 30, so we went through 20, maybe 21 gallons today. Not bad, not bad. Oh, I'm tired. I really didn't do much. All right, we'll see you. Probably next thing will be maybe we'll go quote that house. We'll go quote that building first thing tomorrow morning, and then we'll swing over to that residence and see how far we can get with this pump.